There's nothing quite like the sights and smells of a leather shop. Tanya, how did Buckaroo get started?
So our history dates back to 1971. So that was when my dad started working with leather, and that was back in South Africa. So he came to Australia in the 80s and set up shop again here. So I got involved when I was in my late teens. So he offered me the opportunity to join the family business, and Buckaroo, as we know it today, pretty much evolved after that period when he diversified the business.
Now, you're a young female CEO in a traditionally male-dominated industry. Has that presented any unique challenges?
Not yet. It does have its pros and cons because it is a very much male-dominated industry. But I think the fact that I'm female sometimes works. It has its strengths because I'm able to see things a little bit more differently. You know, we take a lot of pride, for example, in how our products are packaged, and that's pretty unique in the tools and hardware side of things. Most products are just slapped together and stuck on the shelf. And it's
rough and ready.
Yeah.
And how's the business changed under your stewardship?
And a big decision for me was making sure that we had a brand that could actually be much more accessible and much more widely accessed. So we stopped selling to the public. And that allowed for us to propel forward in that we then became a brand that was a supplier to major resellers. And that's given us a lot of brand recognition, and that's really made sure that Buckaroo is firmly cemented in this industry.
So what do the processes look like within the factory here?
So we pretty much have a flow line. So we start off with our pre-production and our cutting, where we get all our leather and our materials ready. And then it just travels through the factory depending on the product, going hand to hand to hand. And then as a finished product, hopefully at the end of that stage, it's 100% ready to go out the door with no faults.
And so how important is it for the brand and the business that your products remain Australian made?
Yeah, it's very important for us. We have a very unique way of working, and we have a lot of loyalty when it comes to our products being Australian made. It's definitely a strength for us as a competitor in the marketplace. So it has a lot to do with our history and where we're going now moving forward. It's definitely a priority.
Because it is all manufactured right here in Wollongong. Any other reasons that you've resisted the urge to go offshore?
Quality control is a big one for us. We're sending out tens and tens of thousands of products a year. If we were to go offshore, we feel that we'd really lose that quality control.
Now, you've got a really loyal workforce here. How have you gone about securing those skills in the local market?
Well, it's a unique type of way in which we work, you know, and we hope that that is something that can be valued, particularly in our area. And with the type of work we're doing, there's not much manufacturing like this going on in Australia. So we have a traineeship. So it's the only traineeship that's going on at the moment in Australia for, it's specifically for leather work. And that's in conjunction with TAFE.
And that TAFE course is something you recognise as a shortage and proactively pursued yourself.
Yeah, that's right. So we are aware of the fact that there's no apprenticeships for leather work anymore. It's definitely a dead trade. We actually approached TAFE and presented our problem to them and said, look, we've got staffing shortages. We want to train up the next generation. What are you able to offer us?
Now, the founder and your father, Ken, passed away 2 years ago now. Did he have any parting advice for you?
Don't work on Saturdays, which I still do. Yeah, he wanted to make sure that I maintained the life-work balance. You know, when it's yours, you work hard in it. You want to put in the hours because you're getting something back that's more than a job.
Because you've got 3 young kids of your own now.
I do.
How do you manage your work-life balance?
Supportive husband and people around me, that very much helps. But I just try to make sure that I lead by example with them. My kids are always in the factory. And I hope that they can see the value in what we're doing and see that it's special.
And where do you see Buckaroo in 5-10 years' time?
Definitely exporting. There's a lot of interest in the product. We've got a European reseller now. We're moving into Southeast Asia. But we're prepared now to look at doing that on a much more mass scale because we've got the capacity to produce. So we just want to get our stuff out there.
It's a terrific business story, Tanya. Thanks a lot for sharing it with us.
Thank you.